What's up, guys? Classy Metal here. Got a collection update for you guys today. I've been talking about the Paragon Records orders that I made for a little bit now, and this is the first of those two orders. They've both been in my possession for a little bit, but I like to listen through all the albums. And usually when I place an order through Paragon with their CDs, the majority of the CDs on their site are like $5. I tend to go a little overboard. I know what you're thinking, not me. I never go overboard with anything, but I order a lot, and I like to listen through the stuff before I actually do the video. Sometimes that's to my own detriment because I never get around to doing the videos, but I was like, you know what? It's time to sit down. We're going to go through the first of these orders today. Some of this stuff is no longer available on their site, but some of this stuff still is. I usually try to link up Bandcamps and everything down in the description. I don't know if I have time to do that on this one just because it's a pretty decent sized stack. If nothing else, I will list everything that I show. Just list it down in the description. That way, if you see something that piques your interest, it will be in the order that I showed it down there. I'll have the band name and release title and all that. That way, if you see something that you want to try to seek out, you'll at least have everything there to enter in the search bar and at your disposal to try to find it on your own. Just going to jump right into this. The first one that I'm going to show, some killer death metal out of Texas. This is Comorbidity with their debut full-length entitled Dead Infected Everywhere. This was released on Sound of White Noise Records in 2021. Texas death metal, sometimes you can just feel the regionality of a particular band just in their music. You can almost pinpoint what geography, what region they're from, just from the sound of the music. This is Texas death metal. If you're into that Texas sound and you want to hear something that's just based on like war and disease and will melt your face off, then Comorbidity, it will definitely fit that bill for you. I really dig this one, and I was glad I was able to pick this one up off of the Paragon web store. Next up, this is a freebie that Mike threw in for me. Every time I make these big orders, he sends me an email with like a list of stuff telling me to pick something that I want for free. He had some stickers from this band, and I was like, you can just send me the stickers because I'm working on filling a desktop up with stickers. And he was like, well, do you want the album too? And he's so generous with the stuff, and he sent this in, and it turned out to be one of my favorite things in this entire stack that I got. This is a German melodic death metal band. I believe this album came out in the late 90s or early 2000s. Either way, this is a Violation with Moonlight's Child. Killer release. I'm thinking it came out, maybe the date is on here. I don't see it. I'm guessing around 99, 2000 would probably be the time frame that this was released. But it is a killer release, released on Redstream Records. It's crazy that Redstream, to me in my head, I'm just like, man, is Redstream Records that old? But definitely they are. And this is a killer release, so thank you, Mike, for throwing that one in there because I really dug that one. Next up, we have Accursed Womb featuring the Primitive Pathologist on vocals, Adam. This is Hymns of Misery and Death. This is a compilation of the band's demo, two early demos, maybe the first two demos, not quite sure. This was put out on this CD format in 2022 on Vrikoblast Records or Vrikoblast Production. The compilation, I think, was originally put out in 2021, but this particular version was put out in 2022. Adam's got some just filthy, sick vocals on this, just grindy, this kind of death grindy vocal sound, and he's just killing it. He's been featured on like some Pharmacist tracks doing vocals. He was doing vocal work on the newest Piss Rot demo as well, and he just does not sound human on this Accursed Womb compilation here. Next up, we have a band out of Italy. This is two compilations. They are thrashy death metal. They kind of lean more into the thrash at times. It's that early style of death metal. The band was around from 86 to I think 93 was the time that the band was around. So you're going to have that early style death metal that leans heavily more into the thrash sound of things. This is Excidium. As I was saying, a thrashy death metal band out of Italy. It has this band never put out a full length. They have 2 compilations that were released through Despise the Sun Records, and these came out originally I think around 2012 2013, and I was excited to see these on the Paragon web store, so I picked them both up because it's a complete discography of this band. They never put out a full length, but they had several demo and EP materials. This first compilation, they are entitled Infecting the Graves, Volume 1 and Volume 2. Volume 1 has their 1987 demo, their 1988 demo, and their 1992 7-inch. All, I guess, just a single, all on this one particular disc. Killer stuff. I mean, they definitely wear their influences on their sleeve. I get some heavy possessed vibes going on in their material. Slayer, obviously. Slayer influenced so many bands, especially in this time period. Creator, I feel some Creator going on in this as well. And they kind of slide over into that death metal territory, but that's kind of clear with the possessed influence. And then I have the Infecting the Graves Volume 2. As I said, this band is called Excidium. Killer stuff. This one has their 1990 demo, 91 demo, and 93 demo all on the one disc. And I think I actually like this one a little bit more, but both of the compilations is like stepping in a time machine, and it's pretty awesome stuff. So I was very, very glad that they had these on the Paragon website. If they still have them on there, I would jump on Paragon and grab those right now, because that's some of the better stuff that you're going to find, period. Next up, this is another throwback release. This came out on DSBP Records, that's DSBP Records, a label that I'm not familiar with, but a few things that I ordered in this particular haul were reissues and stuff that label put out. So definitely a label that I'm going to have to dig a little bit deeper into, because if they're releasing some of this older late 80s and 90s obscure stuff, that's something that I could really get behind, and I definitely want to check them out a little bit more. This is a thrash, crossover thrash release, I think originally released in 1988. This is No Escape with Beyond Reality. Look at that artwork. You can tell that was created for a tape or a cassette to fit the tape shell. I almost forgot what the case for a tape was called. And it was drawn with color pencils, it looks like. And I mean, it just looks campy. And I saw this, and this was a complete blind buy. And I absolutely love it. It has those few little kind of crossover feeling breakdowns going on in this, but it gets super thrashy. Pretty fun release. This was the band's, after I got it, I kind of looked into their history a little bit. This was their debut, came out in 1988. I know that they had at least one follow-up release to this. I think it came out a couple years after that. I have not heard that one, but I did enjoy this Beyond Reality release, so definitely need to check out the other material from No Escape as well. Next up, we have some blackened death metal that sounds like it's straight out of the pits of hell. This is Chaos Perversion with their 2022 EP. I knew I was going to have trouble reading this case. This is entitled Petrified Against the Emanation. This is blackened death metal out of Chile, I believe. It's some of that oppressive, sulfuric, evil sounding blackened death. Look at that artwork. You kind of get a feel what you're going for this. I believe this band only has 2 EPs out at the moment. This is the latter of their 2 EPs. And for this just being an EP, they went all out on the Digipack with the detail and stuff. I really dig this. The intro kind of sets the whole tone for the EP. You feel like you're just descending into the depths of hell, and the music kind of keeps you there. This was released on Total Death Over Mexico Records, and it is an absolute banger. It definitely carries the classy metal seal of approval. Next up, a band that I've mentioned on the channel before. This is a band out of Japan, kind of thrashy death metal band. This is Necrophile with From Obscurity. I actually think I picked up their full length a while back on Paragon Records. This is the newest release, but it's a compilation of their earliest releases, if you can kind of follow along with that. I believe I said the name of the compilation is called From Obscurity. It has their first demo and their second demo, and then it also has their material that they did on a split with a band called Abhorror. Pretty good stuff. Thrashy death metal, as I was saying. Very, it's kind of, with it being their early material, it is good. It's not quite as polished as some of their later stuff, but still, it's just some nasty, filthy, thrashy death metal. And a band that I'm really starting to get into. I'm glad that I'm slowly chipping away at their discography and getting their stuff into my collection, because they are a killer project. Next up, a band, probably one of the better known bands that I'll show in this entire update. This is Church of Disgust. This is their EP entitled Invocation of Putrid Worship. This was originally released in, let's see, I wrote it down, in 2012. This is a reissue. I don't know when this particular pressing came out. This was the band's second demo, but this has bonus tracks on it that contains the band's first demo as well. So you get both of the early releases from Church of Disgust on this. Their album that came out last year was absolutely amazing. I'm getting to the point, everything that I've heard from Church of Disgust I've really liked, and I'm glad to have this one in the collection now. I think this sold out shortly after I purchased this. I shared it on through my Facebook and for the channel, and I know somebody wanted to go grab this, especially with it only being $5, and I think it was already sold out at that point. So that's unfortunate if that's something that you would have been looking for, but I'm sure you can find that pressing somewhere else. Let me take a swig of my water here, and we'll go into some more 90s death metal, death grind. It's kind of brutal death grind. Is that a thing? This is Detestation, and this is their 1995 release entitled Massacre of Hate. This band has only put out 2 full lengths, and they were almost 30 years apart. I picked up both of their full lengths off of Paragon, and they were both released through that DSBP Productions. So that is definitely a record label that I need to look a little deeper into. It says that label is out of New Mexico, so definitely something that I want to explore a little bit more. This is pretty good. Definitely has that older, that mid-90s brutal death metal feel going on production-wise. It is kind of campy feeling, but I love this kind of throwback sound, and these guys are killer. They should have got bigger than what they did. And then I picked up their 2022. That one came out in 95. And then I picked up their newest full length that came out in 2022 entitled Renewed Killings. The production, you can tell, it has that more modern feel going on this. And this one leans a bit more to the death metal realm as opposed to just death grind. But the grindy elements are still prevalent in there, but it does lean more into the death metal realm. But I dig both of these releases, so I was super stoked to find these on that Paragon site as well. Next up, we have some symphonic black metal. This is another band out of Italy, and these next 2 releases I'm going to show are actually both from the same band, and they were blind buys to me. I was kind of intrigued by the artwork on the one that I'm going to show first. I went ahead and grabbed both, and I've enjoyed both of the releases now that I've actually listened to them. This is Heruka. I think they're also known as like the Heruka Project. I was not familiar with this band at all, but that kind of paranormal looking artwork there, definitely kind of drew me in. The name of this release is entitled No Sun Dared Pass Our Windows. Very catchy sounding symphonic black metal. It definitely sticks with you. This one came out in 2020. And of the two that I've got, I think that this one is probably leaning at the right now being my favorite of the two. But I do enjoy both of the releases. The other one is entitled Memorie, spelled with an I-E. There we go. And this kind of looks a little bit more like, as far as the artwork, of something that I would get into, but I don't know why the artwork from the No Sun Dared Pass Our Windows, just the artwork and the album title is what drew me in and made me want to check out this band, and I'm glad it did, because I've enjoyed everything that I've heard from them so far. This one was released in 2022. Has a bit more of a melancholy feel going on, but they are very catchy with their style of black metal. Very, very memorable stuff going on those. And I like that when I can leave something and it kind of sticks with me and makes me want to return back and listen to it again. Next up, we have some very melodic death doom. This is Dantalion with their, I don't know where this particular release fits in their discography. I know it's like right smack dab in the middle. It came out in 2014. This is entitled Where Fear Is Born. Aside from the artwork and the intro, it doesn't have, the album itself doesn't really fit that artwork and that theme. But that being said, it is a fantastic release. Very melodic style of death doom, and the band apparently used to play depressive black metal, which they completely stepped away from on this release. I don't know where the transition in styles happened in a particular spot of their discography, but in this one you're getting some straight melodic death doom, and they perform it exceptionally well. This is a killer release. As I said, it came out in 2014 and was released on Sleazy Rider Records. Next up, we have another certified ripper. This is one of the better albums that I got in this entire stack. This is the debut full length from Skeletal Throne, entitled Human Deterioration. They are a thrashy death metal project out of Mexico. This was released on Mexican Steel Productions. And I think this came out in 2020, and it is an absolute face ripper. I absolutely love this one. It was kind of hogging playtime there for a while as I was trying to listen my way through this stack of material that I got, and I could not step away from this release. It kept on drawing me back, and I'm looking at it now, and I'm wanting to throw it in the CD player as soon as this video is over, because it is that good. Definitely something that it's kind of like the soundtrack of the apocalypse. It's just thrashy death metal that will melt your face off, and it's absolutely fantastic. Next up, we got some Texas death metal, blackened death metal. I'm just going to say this is some war metal, and it looks war metalish through the artwork and everything. This is Unholy Desecration with Unholy Horde. This is another one that you can just kind of feel that Texas heat bearing down on you coming off of the album itself. It almost just feels like hot to the touch. Very evil sounding stuff, very oppressive sounding stuff, and I mean, it just screams war metal. So, good stuff there. Next up, I saw Cro-Mags live not too terribly long ago, and I don't think they played anything from this album. And this is my favorite Cro-Mags album, and I finally have it on a physical format. I think Paragon had these. I think this one was $10, but the band themselves kind of steps away from this release and doesn't really acknowledge it too much, and it's my favorite one from Cro-Mags because it's a bit more towards the thrashy side of things as opposed to the crossover. You don't have as much of the breakdown type stuff going on this one. This is Cro-Mags with Near Death Experience, and I'm kind of in the minority, I think, as far as this being my favorite Cro-Mags, but it is what it is. It is definitely out of their discography, it is the one that I would find myself returning to and listening to the most. This was released on Punishment 18 Records So it is a definite. This one was reissued in 2015. I think the original came out around 93 on Century Media, but this is a much later kind of reissue, obviously. And then the last one I'm going to show is another just absolute ripper album. This was released on Total Darkness Propaganda in 2020. I think the band originally released this full length in 2019. This is some death metal out of Canada. This is Pathetic with Rat King. Look at that artwork. I mean, that artwork right there just drew me in on its own. I have not heard their follow-up. They had a full length that came out like a year after this one, and I need to check that one out because Rat King is just a beastly album. And some more of that kind of thrashy death metal, fantastic stuff here. Lots of good stuff in this particular update. I'm sorry I didn't go into too much detail about all of these, but I mean, we've already been here 20 minutes just for me to get through that stack. I have another whole one of these stacks I need to go through. It won't be just super soon, but I'm still listening my way through that one. But I wanted to get this video done so I could start filing these away into the shelves and kind of share this stuff with you guys. That's all I've got for today. I have some other stuff coming this week too that I'm excited to show you guys. So definitely stay tuned, stay classy, stay metal, and I will see you guys very soon. I promise.